All right, you guys, welcome to the team call tonight. It's February 20th, 2018. I'm Tracy Anderson. I'm a Gold Elite 2 from Seattle, Washington, and we have a really powerful lineup for you once again tonight. This call's going to be a little bit different than the ones we've had recently because we're actually going to be doing some really solid training on what to do to grow your business, actual activities that you need to do. So Casey and Brett will be taking that on here in a few minutes. They actually created a document for us called the Power Hour, and it's in the Everyday Clean Living Facebook group. If you want to find that under files and print that, if you haven't already done that, or print it afterwards, that's fine too. We're going to go over it in some detail tonight. And then to end the call, we're going to have Anna Woodward, of course, from Florida, sharing some of her best tips and also talking to us a little bit about the incentives she has going for our team leading into some big Canada events too. All right, so hang on to the end for that one. And we're going to start our call with a really amazing story. And this gal I got to know at the launch event in Toronto last November. And I was just immediately struck by what a special person she is. And I asked her to tell me a little bit about her story, and I actually got on the phone with her today to learn it in more depth, and I was just really overwhelmed with emotion and just by what she's done to take on her, some obstacles in her life, and how Modere has kind of played into that some, and I can't wait for you guys to hear it. So, as some people come into this business because it's money related, right? I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this. Is money related? Of course, all of us have like a financial piece to our desire to be here, for the most part, anyway, right? And that's certainly true for her as well. But it is oftentimes so much more than that. There's so much more power to this industry and what we can do here as a team and as in this industry to really make a difference in people's lives. And Amy's story is really going to prove that to you. And like last week, we had Bryn on with his inspirational story about his M3 transformation. And it was so powerful and inspiring. And he loves to inspire people with this story. Well, Amy's the same way, even though her story goes a completely different direction than Bryn's. It has nothing to do with the product so much as just how it's transformed her life. So I get to introduce to you Amy Perras. She's a silver team leader from British Columbia. And she's, say hi to everybody, Amy. Oh, let me unmute you.
Okay.
Oh, there you
Hi,
go.
Everyone. Hi.
Hi. So Amy, why don't you start out by telling us a little bit about your background?
Okay, so you guys all know I'm like the original Mary Poppins, right? My accent isn't that great these days, but it used to be a lot better. So I'm originally English, and I'm actually from really close to Sherwood Forest in Nottingham. It's a real place. And so that's where I grew up, and I lived and worked in London for a while, and then I decided that the corporate life wasn't enough, and so I went traveling. So traveled around the world for a little while, New Zealand, lived in New Zealand for a while, in Australia, in Johannesburg. I met my husband in New Zealand, and he turned out to be Canadian. That was not the plan. So we came out here and emigrated in 2009, and started building our lives here. And I guess that was like the back end of the story, and carried on working. I was in purchasing previously, and so I was in purchasing in the UK, and as a cheese buyer, a specialty cheese buyer, which is kind of funny now because I don't do dairy even right now, but I used to a lot. When I moved here, I started buying shoes. Was one of the things I bought, which was lots of fun. So I got pregnant with my son, and dreadful pregnancy, so I had to stop working. And when he was born, it was evident that he had some issues. And so really from like within the first year of him being born, my life took a real turn. Like I thought I might be a stay-at-home mom, but I ended up knowing that I would never be able to really go back to having a career because of his needs. So my son, Zeno, who you'll have seen pictures of if you've seen any of me on Facebook, he has mild cerebral palsy, he has epilepsy, and he's also autistic. And so most of my life up until the last year was completely just revolved around him. So I became what is known in the industry as a therapy mom, which basically means every day I would take him to therapy of one type or another. So whether it was physiotherapy or speech therapy or occupational therapy, any type of therapy, hospital appointments, that kind of thing. And it really just became my entire life. Like I love him to pieces, and I wouldn't want it any other way. Well, that's not entirely true. Of course, I would want a better life for him. But I totally just threw myself into that and became that person. And whilst I became the best mom for him, I completely lost my identity. Everything. Like I lost my friends, I lost my social life, I lost like my drive, I lost my motivation, I just truly lost sight of who I was, just in the journey for him, making sure he had everything he needed. And then we had my husband worked away. He was always away, so it was pretty much just me. And then we had our daughter, and she is just a full-on turkey. Like the two of them keep me on my toes for sure. But yeah, I've just been Zeno is 6 and Ray is now 3, and for the last definitely 5 years, I just became Zeno's mom. Oh, and Ray's mom on the side, which is kind of mean to say, but truthful, right? So everything I did was for him. And so, yeah, I really, really lost myself. So I was actually on the road with my husband almost 3 years ago now in the summer, and I was staying in our trailer in Vernon, and was just feeling completely isolated. And I'd found a mom's group in Vernon just on Facebook and asked if anyone fancied meeting up, and just figured, it would be like, I don't know, meet some weirdo mom in a park or something. And Stacey just reached out to me. Not that you're a weirdo, Stacey. Sorry, Stacey Birkland, you're not. Stacey reached out to me and she's like, yeah, come to my house. We're having a play date. So I literally wrote a note for my husband and said, this is the name of the person I'm going to meet. This is her address. I don't know if she's an axe murderer, but I'm just going to go because I'm losing my mind. I can't be in the trailer the whole time. I got to go do something. And I went to meet with her, and it was just love at first sight. Like, I love Stacey so much. I can't see her face right now because if I could, I probably would get even more emotional. And she just welcomed me with open arms, and we just were like fast friends from that point. I met Candice then too. And we just stayed in contact, and we've had somewhat kind of parallel lives. And in that period of time, like fast forward now almost 3 years, as I kind of had lost myself and I kind of kept in contact with Stacey, off like some MLM stuff, and she never approached me with it. She was never weird about it. It was always just I just knew what she was up to, and she had so much fun, and she was so vibrant, and I was like, I want a piece of that. Like, sat at home in my onesie reading therapy books, or like just Googling the latest research on autism, or blah, just all this stuff. Like, just totally my life, and I really needed to be out of it. And I was having a lot of arguments with my husband about money, and she had mentioned, she was like, oh, I started, like, I'm doing something new now, and this could really be an option for you, maybe, and I was like, yeah, actually just like extra $100 a month would probably make the world a difference to me. Like, I just wouldn't have to have those arguments about why I wanted a $5 coffee or why I wanted a new pair of jeans from Old Navy, or whatever it is. Like, I'm not really a big spender. And I was like, yeah, you know what, that probably, yeah, I'm going to do it. So we chatted, and she was never pushy. Like I say, I can't see your face, Stacey, so I don't know what you're doing right now. But she was just, we just connected, and she just seemed to offer me this. I didn't even know what the products were, you guys. Literally, like, she had added me to the groups, but I wasn't really paying much attention. I just thought I just needed like an extra $100, or just something for me. And Zana was starting kindergarten. I was like, okay, I'm going to have an extra couple of hours that I'm not taking to therapy, because I thought I was going to homeschool, and that kind of changed last minute. So I had this time. So I signed up without really knowing anything, and had no clue what I was doing. And I didn't even realize. So within the first couple of weeks, I started, like, I joined up to do like the, I forget what the training was. It was like the one-on-one, like the SM training 101. And there was so much training, and I just threw myself into it, and I took every piece of training I could find. And I could not believe, like, it wasn't like, I hadn't even got my products at this point, right? So I had no clue. But just the support, the positivity, the joy, the like it's a full-on sisterhood. I know there are some guys in this. Bronze and 5, thanks Terry. Yeah, bronze and 5. I just couldn't believe all this positivity, and I just absorbed it, and I just became this big sponge. And I, without even deliberately having had this plan, I just found myself again. Like I got my mojo back. I'm the person I was before life threw me a curveball. And I'm not just that person, like I'm a better person, because the curveball made me, it made me who I am, and it made me able to connect with people on a different level. But then I have like all this positivity back, and all this drive and motivation. And I have 2 villages. I have like my actual village, like my special needs moms, and I have my virtual village, which is all of you guys. And I don't even think you know how much that means to me. Like it really means a lot to me. So I was saying to Tracy earlier today, and I said it to a few other people. So I realized I got all this, I got all the Modere stuff, and I love it. Okay, there's nothing I haven't tried yet that I just haven't I love it all. I love it all. And I was saying, I wanted to get rid of some toxins, and it was all about removing toxins from my family, and I maybe took it a step too far. And so I'm now single and moving out next month with the kids. And I'm able to do that now because of the strength that I have found from all of you guys, from my virtual village, and because of the strength from my real village. I'm actually not in my home right now. I'm in my girlfriend's home because I can't really do this in my own home right now. I wouldn't want him to be listening. We're all still living in the same house right now, so it's a little bit crazy. So yeah, you guys are my village. You guys are like, I don't know if you've seen the Trolls movie. The little smidge says, "Your confidence gives me strength." That's what it is, you guys. You guys just like pour all this love into me. And it means so, so much. When we went to Toronto, Rachel and Cara and Stacey and all the other ladies I met there, like I was in tears. We were watching the Justin Prince talk, and he was doing that thing about whose voice are you listening to, and I just lost it. I was just in tears because I was like, oh, he's talking to me. Obviously he wasn't just talking to me, but it really connected with me because that was it. The last 10 years I've been listening to the wrong voice, and so now I listen to your voices, and it's totally changed me for the better. And like this is before, like I'm not even talking about the products. I could talk for hours about how the products have changed my life too. Like I was going to the chiropractor every 2 weeks because I have to lift Senna out of chairs and lift him into car seats and help him downstairs, and he's rough, and he's rough on his own body and he's rough on my body. And I was literally having to go to the chiropractor, and I started taking BioCell in August, and I haven't been back. Like I am stronger physically and mentally because of Modere. And now, although I was just expecting, like, $100 a month or whatever it might be, now this is like, this is my future. This is like my financial independence. That's what I'm working on. And again, like I will never be able to go back and have a real job. But this is my real job. This is better than a real job. And this can make more money than I could ever make. Having like I have so infrequent hours. Some days I can put a whole day into Modere, and some days it's not going to get a look in, right? It just isn't. But I can still put my heart and soul into it. And what I foresee for this is greatness for everyone. And also that I was saying to Tracy, like this could be willable for my son. If he can never work, I could pass this on to him and I would never have to worry. So yeah, you guys, it means more to me than I can ever explain. It's not just BioCell, it's not just trim, and I have those journeys too, but it's more, yeah, you guys are amazing. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for Stacey that she even thought of me, that even thought that I could do this, that it was even something that I was capable of. And for my team now, like you think I have a story, you just wait until you speak to the people that are joining our team, because this vibe attracts one hell of a tribe, you guys. So yeah, you watch us, we're coming, because they're amazing. I'm not going to spoil the story, but I know Casey was talking to 2 of the girls that started recently, and yeah, it's golden, you guys. I'm so excited. I can't wait. And I can't wait to party with you guys again in Vancouver too, because it's so much fun. I think that's everything I wanted to say. I don't know, maybe there was.
Amy, I think you really covered it, the highlights of your story. And of course, I think everyone on this Zoom would love to get to know more about you and just keep following your journey. I mean, isn't that a powerful story? There's so many lessons in your story. I love how, going from, a therapy mom, as she calls herself, to, and the emotional and the physical struggles with that, the strain it put on in our marriage, um, and all these things that she's been able to overcome or find better ways to deal with as a result of her journey here with this company. And one of the big things I think about your story, Amy, too, is, how you met Stacy. I mean, Stacy was in this industry when you met, not necessarily with this company, but she built a relationship with you with the pure intention of having a relationship with you and your kids, and seeing how you might support each other. And I love that. And it wasn't about recruiting you. And I think there's a really good lesson in that right there too, right? So if you have the pure intention when you're relationship building, and Casey and Brett are going to talk about this a little bit more too, that makes all the difference in the world, right? If you want to meet with people and build relationships with them for the right reasons, you will find out if they're fit for this business or not, and they'll be in your business if it's the right place for them. If not, they'll be a part of your life or not, just depending on where they fit. So Stacy, kudos to you. I mean, you really have a wonderful team, and your philosophies and, really align, your values really align with the companies, and you're attracting a tribe of people, like she said, that are like you and think the same way you do. And I just love watching you grow and develop as a leader too. So Amy, thank you so much for being vulnerable and sharing your story with us. I know it was hard. I'm still emotional. And I'm just so honored to know you and to be working with you. So we're going to segue from Amy's story to Casey and Brett, who happen to be Amy's upline. And, this is a really big piece of this too. Casey and Brett are great leaders, and they're full time in their Modera business. But they have an advantage that a couple advantages that a lot of us don't have. And one is they don't have any kids, right? They're both married, but no kids, and they're full time. They have the ability to be full time in this business without a job outside the home. So they recognize that that's an advantage. It's not something everyone can do. So they can't have the same expectations for people on their team that they hold themselves to, right? And so they, having recognized this, they wanted to pour themselves into their team, take the time and their resources, and find a way to give those resources to their team. And so they came up with this concept of the Power Hour. So they've taken the time to test this and put it to the test and develop it and refine it, and it's working. So they took, the best activities that they felt like to grow your business and put it into a form that we can all use. And I'm not going to say any more about it because they're going to tell you all about it. But it really is a gift for them to share it with all of us now, especially now that we know it's working. I mean, if you guys have seen them on Facebook lately on our team pages, I mean, their team is just busting open. They have so much new growth, and they have so much positive energy. You definitely want to be a part of what they're doing. So anyway, just huge thanks to both of you for wanting to share with us. And so have your little Power Hour sheets ready if you have them. I think you might be sharing the screen too. But I'll go ahead and turn it over to you.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Tracy. So who loves being in Amy's village? Hands up, you guys. Wasn't that just absolutely incredible? I don't have a fancy accent, and either does Brett, so hopefully we don't bore you with this presentation, but we're really excited to dive in. Hopefully you guys have got your Power Hour sheets printed. If you haven't, just follow along the best you can, and when you do have a chance to print out your Power Hour sheet, this is going to make a lot more sense to you. So just like Tracy was saying, we dove in and we wanted, simplicity. We wanted to systemize, and we wanted something that was duplicatable for the masses. Okay, we are mastering the basics, these mundane little behaviors that we do every single day, and it's going to compound over time. And we put it to the test for a couple months, and we are really pleased with the outcome. So we're really excited to unveil the daily Power Hour today. So we're going to get into the slides, guys, and we'll rip through these and have some fun while we're doing it, okay? Oh, there we go.
I'm fancy like that, Casey. It's all prepared.
This is what happens when we practice before time, and then when it comes to game time, we freeze.
Am I frozen?
You're not frozen, but the I can't, like, the power hour is, like the slides.
Nope. Go ahead.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, guys, so follow along with me. We're definitely gonna, take action. I don't know who started the rumor that to do this business, we just had to like throw up an invite on Facebook or paste something, to buy my product, join my business, and then just sit back and wait for a paycheck. That's definitely not true. The people aren't just gonna come to you because you made one post or made yourself present on social media. We might be social marketers in social retail, but there is a whole back-end component to this business. Social media is such a small element to what we get to do. So I want you guys to kind of unlearn that little tail because it's a lie. There's so much more that we can put into our businesses, high payoff activities that are going to get you paid and promoted a lot quicker than just making a post on Facebook. Awesome, guys. So we're going to work for it, okay? So in reality, you're going to be like a duck, right? So what you see on the surface of that water is this cute little duck, and that's what everyone sees on Facebook, and that duck's just paddling in the water. But, meanwhile, under the water, that little duck's legs are just going like crazy, okay? Because the majority of the work, people don't see. It's behind the scenes. So that's what the power hour is for, okay? Awesome. So again, guys, the talk is cheap. So we've heard it all before. To do what it takes to be successful in this business, we got to go from talking the talk to actually walking the walk. It's one thing to have this presence on social media, but it's another thing to do the things you set out to do. And one way is to do that by taking immediate action, getting pen to paper, and this is a massive part of where this power hour comes into play for you guys. So this is an overview of the power hour. Like I said, some of you have this printed off. You're looking at it right now. It looks pretty simple. It's a clean, crisp document. And for those of you that don't have it printed out yet, this is what it's going to look like. And I challenge you guys, how many days are in the month? Print out 30 of them and go for it, okay? So this is what you're going to print out. This is your new power hour.
Awesome. So yeah, what Casey and I are going to do now that you guys have had a chance to look at what the power hour looks like, we're going to break it down for you so that, you don't leave this call tonight with this flimsy little piece of paper and you have no idea what it means. So we're going to walk you through literally every section of the power hour and get into it for you so that you can leave here kind of with an action plan and you know exactly how to use it and you can get started tonight. Like this is something before you go to sleep tonight that you could do. So what I want to talk to you about first is the very first part of the power hour. Like Casey said, you're going to print off 30 of them, one for every single day of the month. You're going to put that date on it so that you actually know which date you completed it. And the very first thing that we do is we set a business goal for the day. It's specific to that day. I know we have these huge, big goals in our business, but you can sit there and throw out a big goal, but if you don't have individual daily goals that work into that big goal, you're never going to get there. So it's really important that, you do this power hour, you set that business goal, and it's really going to set an intention or a goal for the day. And this could be something as simple as, I'm going to build 3 relationships today, or I'm going to get one new M3 customer. Whatever that goal that you want for today, put it in writing. That's just one step that's going to get you closer to actually achieving that goal, is writing it down and having it in writing.
That's awesome, guys. So the next portion of the power hour, working your way down, is the affirmations. So we know there's a power. Thoughts really are things. Affirmations are a declaration statement of self-encouragement, you guys. So you can choose a couple different affirmations that you like and rotate between them. I know a lot of people that pick 2 affirmations and they say them out loud to themselves every single day. You don't need to constantly come up with a brand new affirmation for each power hour and different every day, but pick something that applies to your own journey. I once heard a story about a woman in business, and her dad used to sit her down and tell her, you know, when he's brushing her hair in the morning, getting her ready for school, and he would look at her and say, you are destined for greatness. You know, just even like that movie in The Help, you know, you are kind, you are important, you know, things like that. You know, some of the best affirmations, you want to feel it from the belly. You're going to feel silly at first when you're saying these things. Try practicing them even in the mirror. Once you have them off of your power hour, you need to not just say it, you need to believe it, okay? So an example of a great affirmation is, I am showing the world who I am. I am an elite. And you can also say, I am destined for greatness. Whatever that is, affirming who you are, where you're going, write it down. There is a system into writing it down and believing it. And that, you know, gives us that belief to take actions, and what we're doing is really worthwhile. There's something to it.
Awesome. So yeah, just as important as a goal and an affirmation is, are having some gratitude for what's going on in your life. Sometimes we get so focused on what's going wrong instead of, you know, shifting that focus onto what's going right. So practicing the art of gratitude, it is so good for that entrepreneurial soul that you have. A focus on gratitude, it can seriously improve your physical and emotional health, as well as our productivity, creativity, and our overall business. You're going to hear a lot of top leaders talk about being grateful, these simple habits that they do every single day, you know, setting the goal, having an affirmation, being grateful. These are things that top leaders do in the morning before they get into Facebook, before they get into the business, and it's setting that tone for their day. So being grateful is just as important to truly reap the benefits of being thankful. We need to begin weaving these little acts of gratitude into our business routine every single day. So having a statement, one thing that you're grateful for today, is one way to do that. Looking at the business in a positive way and looking at what you can be grateful for, you know, positive things that are happening maybe with your team. Like, I'm so happy for the people that we're attracting into this business. I'm so grateful for that. So focus on that, maybe rather than, oh, we've had some shipping delays. You know, let's not focus on the negative. Let's focus on the positive, because there is so much to be grateful for here. And honestly, if you start your day with this power hour and you're doing these habits, it is going to shift your perspective. It is going to make you one of those people who starts attracting these amazing people into your tribe. I promise you. So now that we've kind of went over the top part of the power hour, those are really the things that set the tone for your day. I know I've just said that, but it's so true. That's why we have it up there first. Before you start getting into the bulk of the power hour work, you need to get in that right state of mind before you're reaching out to people, before you're contacting people. You need to get the goodness flowing. So the first thing that we want to talk about is sending out new Facebook friend requests. So we have a little section on the power hour for this. This should seriously take you less than 10 minutes, less than 5 minutes. And why is this important? Because we all get to that point where we eventually run out of our warm market. So we have to start looking elsewhere to keep growing our network, to keep growing that master list that we're working on, to keep growing just the opportunities to meet new people. So if you're not using the internet to your advantage yet, you need to start. And if you're on this call and you're telling me you don't have a Facebook account, I do not believe you. Ask your upline. Seriously, if you don't have Facebook, reach out to your upline ASAP, grab a cell phone, send them a text. You need to get on Facebook, because there are like 4 billion people on Facebook. And if you don't have a piece of that pie, I don't know. So Facebook is such a great tool for network marketing. Almost everyone who I've met and brought into my team, I met through Facebook. There's hardly any people on my team who I knew before I joined Modere or before I joined network marketing. And it's just living proof. Like Terry Lee, I'm the crazy lady that friend requested her and sent her random messages and, you know, slowly built up a relationship. She told me to take a hike probably 10 times. But I was persistent, and now we're like best friends. So it's true. You have to keep growing that list. You have to get out there. You have to start sending out friend requests. I'll give you guys a tip. A great place to find people who you can send new friend requests to are in groups about interests that, things that interest you. So if you're, say like Terry Lee, she is a marathon runner. If you're a marathon runner, get yourself into some marathon groups, Facebook groups all over the world that specialize in that, and start seeing who you engage with in the group and send them some friend requests. And you can write down the names of the people who you're sending friend requests to so that you can move those names around with the rest of your power hour.
Awesome. So get networking, guys. So you have all those, new Facebook friends. It's time to start some new conversations, okay? You want to start engaging with them. So something that we like to use when starting conversations is we always like to have FORM. And just like you see on the slide here, FORM stands for family, occupation, recreation, and motivation. So, when getting to know someone and diving into them and starting connecting, those are a few, simple touch points that you can use to start a conversation and get networking. Who do you, family relations, do they have kids your age? Are they in the same occupation as you? What do they do for recreation? Do you spend a lot of time at the hockey arena? And motivation, right? Is it someone maybe like Amy that wants to meet moms in the park, or is it someone that is driven by a shiny car and a new pair of shoes, right? And just start networking even as simple as private messaging someone to say happy birthday. Everyone on Facebook has a happy birthday, and it's so easy to just write on someone's wall like the masses and ship it off. What if you opened up a private message and started engaging with that person, okay? Build some rapport just in the simplest ways, but get out there and start making your new friends that you added your new friends.
Exactly.
And so this actually goes back to what Stacy did with Amy. She built a relationship, okay? So there's a rule, you guys, to building relationships. It's give constantly and receive occasionally. What happens when you ask someone and pour into someone and just allow them to talk? You be the listener. You're going to find that the conversation's going to roll around and they're going to ask you about you eventually. So it's a great thing to keep in mind when you're building these new relationships. Have some conversations, with these people numerous times without mentioning your products or even your business. It's okay to just make friends for the sake of making contacts, okay? Some of the most extraordinary professional relationships are built with just every ordinary day actions that were based on real connections first, just like Stacy and Amy, right? So, just start small. Don't go in for the close. Don't go in for the kill. Just focus on building an actual relationship. We sometimes lose our people skills on social media. Where did that go? Get back to that. So again, start small and kind of stay small consistently, and you're going to see that relationship's going to grow. And maybe in the end, they might be ready for a product or they might be ready for your opportunity. But don't just put the intent on making that friend just for business purposes. This is just good people skills, right? People buy from people they like, know, and trust. So be one of those people.
Exactly. Yeah. So like Casey said, you need to take the time to build that relationship first. And what you're going to do while you're building that relationship is you're going to qualify someone. So that means that you're going to qualify them for maybe a product, maybe the business opportunity, or maybe a friend. Maybe this isn't a fit for them. Just because a person has two legs and they walk up to us doesn't mean that they're instantly going to be for Modere. Take the time to get to know them, like Casey said, qualify them, see if there is anything that might be a fit. And if there is, that's where we move it to add tag message. So say you're talking to someone, whether it's someone who you've been building a relationship with, or, sorry, my dogs are barking. Hey, if it's someone you're building a relationship with, or someone who, is in your family, or someone who you've been talking to for a while, and you think of a product that might be good for them, or maybe they've engaged with you on Facebook. Maybe you're sharing a lot about, that you've been losing weight and they've been liking on all your posts, right? Well, you might notice that you have 56 likes on this one post. Well, why not reach out to some of those people, let them know that you've you've noticed that they've taken an interest in your new weight loss journey, for example, send them a quick message and say, hey, you know, I really appreciate your support. I saw that you've been interested in this weight loss journey that I've been on. Would it be okay if I added you into a private group and I tagged you in a couple posts about the products that I'm using? You can remove yourself from this group at any time, so there's no pressure. I'm telling you, 9 out of 10 people are going to say, yeah, throw me in there. So that's what you do. Then you add them into one of our groups. We have some pretty amazing groups with Modere. Modere has made super simple systems for us. So we have the M3 pledge community. So if it's someone who seems like, M3 might be a good fit for them, and once you have their permission, add them into the M3 group, tag them in some of those posts. Work is going to happen while you're sleeping because people are constantly sharing in that group, and it's going to continue to pique that person's interest. So after a little bit of time has passed, maybe a day or two, follow up with them. That's where the M for message comes from. You don't just throw people in a group and then forget about them. You have this list where you've written down their names that you added them into a group. Go back and follow up with them and see what they thought about those products and continue the conversation. Maybe this isn't the right product for them, but continue to build that relationship and see where it goes next. Just like we have ATM groups for the products, we have an ATM group for the business opportunity, and that's called Social Retail Live. So if you have someone who might be a great prospect for the business, have a very similar conversation with them. Let them know there's a really cool group. There's a lot of amazing testimonials that people have in there about how this business has changed their life. Information is free. Casey always says, we're not asking them for a kidney or anything. We're just asking them to take a look at the business. And it's true. So most people, if you approach them in a way where you give them an automatic out, they're pretty good with letting you add them into that group. And then it's up to you to follow up with them. So again, we're adding people into these groups, but we're tracking it. We're writing down their name. We're not losing track of the relationships that we're building or the people that we're talking to or the people who are transitioning into these groups. This is all about tracking and being organized.
Awesome. Okay, guys. So I think we've all heard the expression, the fortune is in the follow-up. And here at Modere, that couldn't be more true. This is the actual fun part of this power hour, you guys. You get to come full circle, putting yourself in the position to follow up with that person you first added on Facebook, started a relationship, add, tagged, message. This is the fun part. It's kind of like a little progress check, right? So who have you talked to? Are they ready to take the next logical step? This is a way to contact them, check in, and see. So following up is a great way to show your dedication to, customer service and show that you're taking your business seriously. If you put importance on it, that person is going to put importance on it, okay? And, we never want to just throw our fishing net into the water and never go back to check on it, right? We're going to go back and check on our nets and see who's there. And, a little personal story, I know we've all heard the saying, practice makes perfect. Well, my dad used to say, perfect practice makes perfect. And so I would like to expand on this a little bit more. Instead of just saying fortune is in the follow-up, fortune is in the perfect follow-up. Say you guys are in a store, you're in the mall, and you're shopping and you see a jacket and you pick it up and it's on the rack and you're looking at it and you hum and haw. A great way to follow up in that scenario would be customer service. Is that store a high-end store? If so, they're probably going to send a salesperson over and say, hi, do you like that jacket? Would you like me to take that up front for you? So that's a way of following up, right? If you never follow up, so many people go into the mall, pick up the jacket, say, oh my gosh, this is so cute. They might hang around with it for a while. That customer is giving you the clue that they want that jacket. That customer might walk around the entire store with that jacket, carrying it around, looking at other items, and that store owner or the store personnel aren't going back and following up with that customer saying, would you like to try that on? Have you seen the matching toque? Can I take that up for the front, for you when you're ready to pay? We need to practice that perfect follow-up. So many times we're not looping back through, and what happens? You're in the store, you're looking at the jacket, and you talk yourself out of it. No salesperson came up to you in the store, you hang the coat up, and you walk out of the store, and that store just lost a sale and a customer because they didn't follow up. Are you guys following me on the follow-up? Yeah. So, you know, have fun with it. Don't be afraid to ask for the sale. We are in business, and you know, it's really okay to make that connection and just say, what can I do to get you started? Are you ready to get started? I'm excited for you to be a part of this. Let's get you started. So learn to love the follow-up. I know it can be a really scary thing. You know, we talk the talk, and then when it comes time to walk the walk, it's easy to write down everything on the Power Hour, add people on Facebook, and go behind our keyboard. But when it comes to, you know, possibly being rejected, oh my gosh, I can't imagine the horror. But at least you're getting an answer, right? And sometimes no doesn't mean no, and sometimes no doesn't mean they're saying no to you. They might be saying no to themselves, or they might just say not right now. And guess what, you guys? You can follow up with them again later. So following up is merely just a checkpoint to check in on what you started, okay? Woo!
That was awesome. Yeah. So that is the, you know, the work portion of the Power Hour. Those are the little systems that you do day in and day out that are going to help grow your network. They're going to help grow your business. The next things that I'm going to talk about are the daily vital behaviors. These are just as important. Just because they're at the bottom of the Power Hour doesn't mean they lack importance. These are things that you also need to be doing every single day. But these are things that you can kind of do in passing, and they don't necessarily require you to sit down and shut out the rest of the world to do. So I'm going to start walking you through these. Casey and I are going to take you through all of them, and then we can take any questions if you guys have them. So the first thing is personal development. And I know a lot of people sign on for network marketing and they're like, I already do personal development with my day job, and, you know, I'm personal development out. But seriously, where you're at in personal development is going to show up in your business. And it's something that network marketers overlook all the time. Jim Rohn once said, learn to work harder on yourself than you do on your job, and it will reflect in your job. I'm telling you, when I notice a dip in my business, it's because I'm not taking care of myself and I'm not setting aside that time to pour into myself. There's an area that I need to improve on. So you need to learn to recognize that for yourself. In other words, the more valuable you become as an actual person, the more money you're going to make or get paid for bringing value to the marketplace. So we have to continually grow and educate ourselves. Long after we graduate high school or college, it's been said that when you stop learning, you stop living. And I think that's such a powerful quote. Changing your thinking and sharpening your personal development skills will help you in a variety of ways. It's going to help you become more valuable. It's going to help you grow your network marketing business. And it's really going to allow you to take it to the next level. I don't know if you guys were on the call a couple of weeks ago when Sarah Zalecki was here, but she said this one thing and it really stuck with me. And it was, you recruit who you are, not who you need. So if you ever notice that you have an influx of whether it's customers or people joining your team who are making you want to pull your hair out, it's because you need to look at yourself and you need to do some personal development. You're attracting that crazy vibe because you got something going on with you that you need to work on. And I have been there. I know Casey's been there. I know we've all been there on this call. So it's a really good reminder to work on yourself, and you're going to attract amazing people the more you build yourself up into an amazing person. The other thing is being a product of the product. This is really, really important. You're a CEO of your own Mode Air business. I want you to think about CEOs of other businesses out there. Do you think they don't use their products? Do you think that they just talk about the products and they, you know, say fluff about them? Absolutely not. They've tried all of these products themselves. They have favorites or go-to or hero products. They know their products inside and out, and they believe in them. Whether it's them having a personal testimonial about the product themselves themselves, or a close friend or a family member, or, you know, someone relatively close to them who they can share about. I mean, it's really great that we have these groups and these systems where we can share stories and connect people with other stories, but it's so much better if you have your own story. And so you really need to go through those products and pick one to be your hero product and one that you commit to every single day. That's why we have a little line in the Power Hour where you're going to write down what product you used, and you're going to, you know, say that, yes, I'm being a product of that product. I'm using it every day. Like Justin Prince was talking last week about how, you know, the reason why he came onto Modere was by 9 in the morning, he'd use like 23 products, because they are real products that we can use every single day. So there's no reason why anyone can't find a product in this lineup, or 5 or 10 that they use every single day. So I strongly encourage you guys to do that. The bigger testimonial you have yourself or for your family, the more belief people are going to have in you and the products.
I love it. Okay, guys, so another component is checking in with your existing customers. So this is another key of following up. Unlike, you know, the spot above, you're going to follow up with the people that you first engaged with. This is a checkpoint to keep growing that customer pod. Be out on the look for new people that will also love other products in your pod. You know, and we're going to provide amazing customer service, because we're going to be our customers' concierge. You know, what if we really set our products and our customer service to a new standard and, you know, make it an experience for that customer. Have this brand be something they've never experienced before. So sometimes, you know, it's much further than just a text or a phone call. Send thank you cards in the mail. That goes a long, long way. When we get a new product, that's another chance to loop in, check in with your existing customer pod, let them know of the new products that we just announced, or a new flavor, or something that's coming up. You can even just ask them, you know, I'm going to a conference on the weekend, and, you know, they're gonna announce something. I would love to, you know, connect with you on Monday after I'm home, and I can do the big reveal. I think it's gonna be something you'll like. You know, definitely put out your recommendations. Maybe you have a loyal customer that swears by BioCell. Well, you know, they probably wash their hair too. So in time, you know, be that concierge and offer them something else in our catalog. Also let them know that they have their own referral code as a customer, and part of our loyalty program and sharing the love is they can earn themselves extra percentages off and shopping credits from sharing their referral code and building customers on customers on customers. So let them know that we really do work on referrals, and there is a rewards program for them. You know, we really want to focus on customer retention. We have something great in the works. We just have to remind ourselves of that, right? So don't forget to dive back in, check with some customers, and this Power Hour is a great component because it reminds us to dip into our pod, check where people's orders are at. Is there anything pending? Is there, you know, look at people's carts, and just really loop back and make sure you're providing the best customer service possible to keep that loyalty rate up, okay?
Awesome. Yeah. And so one thing that we want to touch on, and there is a reason why this has such a small section in the Power Hour, is Facebook posts. Like Casey said when we first started this training, was, I don't know, some people think that all this job is signing on and doing Facebook posts, and you sit back and wait. But really, Facebook posting is like the smallest portion of what you do. You know, she said we're that duck paddling. Well, that top of the duck is the Facebook post, and all of this behind the scenes stuff is what's keeping that duck floating. So dedicate no more than 10 minutes to doing 2 Facebook posts a day. We follow the 10-4-1 rule, which means that you are going to have 15 posts a week. So that's 2 posts a day. Maybe one day a week you're going to have 3. Facebook algorithms are changing all the time. I'm not going to get into that. I've done a training on that. That's like a whole other hour. But, you know, just make your posts focused and clear and concise, and less is more now. 2 posts a day, spread them out. When are your people on Facebook? When's it going to get the most visibility? You know, who's your market? So post at those times and it's going to be seen. And we just want you to tick off that you did your 2 posts, and then you know that your store is open. People are seeing your presence on social media, and that's really all it needs to be. It's to peak, and then you do this 10 or this power hour on the back end, and that's how you're building the relationships, getting people into the groups, and all of that other good stuff that's going to grow your business.
Awesome, guys. And so another thing is we want you to put some sort of fingerprint into your business every single day. We want you to lay your head on your pillow every night and ask yourself, what did I do for my business today? And you're going to start answering power hour, right? So, you know, we want you to create a habit of logging on to Facebook. And are you just on social media, or are you using social media? There's a difference. Don't just be on Facebook. Use Facebook, okay? So instead of, you know, going through and checking your news feed, hop on your team pages first, okay? Check that off. Make that a part of your power hour, that you're going to put that fingerprint in and check your team pages. Everyday Clean Living is a great place to start. You're going to get the latest announcements, updates, trainings from corporate, from the company. Tracy and Janine do an amazing job, along with Anna on her Dream Team page. You know, everything hot off the press. They keep us in the know. There's nothing that gets by these women, and they are sure to relay it every single day. There's fresh content. So always make a point of just going in, checking out your team page, seeing what's new, and engage with your team as well. And take advantage of some of the tools and the resources that we have available. You know, almost every single day of the week, there is something offered to us. So, you know, we have corporate calls, we have team calls, we have product training calls, we have leadership circles. There's amazing things. So check your emails as well. That's another little component. So, you know, wrapped in a little bow, that's the power hour. If you guys want to, you know, power up or partner up, power up and partner up. So Brett and I, when we were putting this to the test, we would fill out our power hours every night, take a screenshot, send them to each other. And as I do mine, I take a highlighter and I start crossing it off, you guys. And you might not have a ton of time, but don't let your minimums be your maximums. If you look at this power hour and you don't think that you can do 3 friend requests every day, 3 conversations every day, build 5 relationships a day, ATM 3 people a day, can you do 1? Can you do 2? If you are a maxed out person and, you know, your feet hit the floor running at 5:30 in the morning and you don't stop till midnight, could you do a power hour and stretch it out over 3 days? Fill that power hour out and give yourself some time, but get it done. Put that fingerprint in your business, you know, and get it done consistently. I can't think of a better way to do business. Brett and I proved this. We were getting on a Zoom one day, and we had set a date, and, you know, say it was 10 in the morning, and I was still trying to get through my power hour, and we logged on to Zoom, and I said, just hang on. I'm just sending off a text, and I was following up with a potential customer, and I was like, I'm almost there, just, I'm sorry. And she said, no, do your thing. And I sent my message, I set my phone down, and I said, okay. And she did the same thing. And in about 12 minutes, I had a notification. It was like, ding, you have a new customer referred by da 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 da. And it was like, and I was like, oh my gosh. And you guys, I'm not the hugest promoter builder or promoter in this business. I always focus on the builder side. So this is a huge component for me to start building my promoter side. And to get that customer from doing something like this, I was like, that's a good feeling. I'm not going to stop something that works. And so Brett and I were doing that Zoom, and like maybe 20 minutes after that, she got a text message, and it was like, bing, you have a new customer. Like, and it was amazing. And we were like, yeah, power hour. So it's just truly amazing what this has done. So, we go from working this business out of just like the convenience or getting around to it. It's a great way to get organized, you guys. If you're struggling on where to put your time, where to start with, I know a lot of you are new to this business and you're overwhelmed. You're like, okay, check the team page, get on the team call, add tag message. What was that Facebook post? This is such a great way to keep you organized. I know a lot of you might not work off of a calendar or a day planner. Print these off. This is all you have to do. This is the secret sauce to getting you paid and promoted as quickly as possible. And I swear to you guys, if you use this consistently starting now and all of March, and you don't, either rank advance on the promoter side or the builder side, I know you didn't do your power hour. You got to be lying to me. It's just a proven fact. So we're super excited. Thank you so much, Tracy, for asking us to be on the call. We're passionate about this product and project. Amy was amazing, and I can't wait to see what Anna says. And I have to give a big shout out to Brett, because Brett is like the brains behind this. I don't computer well, so she puts like all the ideas into like PowerPoints, and I just get to talk and she types, and I don't know how she does this, but a big applause goes to Brett.
Thank you both. Yeah, thank you both so much. Everybody's contributed so much to this, and we'll save Q&A until after Anna's done, because I know we've really run out of time. But I just, before I turn it over to Anna, I'm sure she's got lots she wants to contribute to that. And there's just a couple of things I want to say, because I put this to the test today. And you guys, it's not how much time we have, is what we do with the time we have, right? So that's what this is all about. So, if this is an hour's worth of activity and you only have 15 minutes here and 10 there and 20 later, break it down into increments that make sense for you, but work these activities into your day. And, I just want to say that I didn't get all the way through mine today. And this is really interesting, because I set my timer for an hour before I started it, because I wanted to see, how much I did. And the first thing I did is I went onto Facebook to do friend requests. And 20 minutes later, my mind isn't even on this anymore, you guys. I got totally distracted. I went down the rabbit hole of Facebook. So just know that that's something, it's made me really aware of how much time I do that, how much time I waste doing that. So if we're going to, like she said, you're either on Facebook or you're using Facebook. So make sure you're using Facebook for the right purposes, and that, I think it's gonna take me some practice. So be aware as you start using this, it might take you some practice to kind of get it down and make sure that you're being efficient with your time on Facebook. Be careful not to go down that kind of rabbit hole on Facebook. But I want to say that in the process of doing this, I didn't get all the way through it, but I did reach out to 13 people in various categories in this. Out of those 13 people that I reached out to, that I wouldn't have reached out to otherwise, 7 of them got right back to me. Within 10, 15 minutes. I think that's a really big deal. So that ball's being moved forward, whether it's checking in with his existing customers, relationship building, or starting new conversations. So I truly think that this can be very powerful for those of us that use it. So anyway, thank you again. And Anna, I'm going to turn it over to you to kind of close this out for us today.
Wow. I have to tell you, this has been one of the best calls I've ever heard. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm here in Florida on the patio tonight. I have 3 teenagers in the other room. We're watching the Olympics and have had a great day. And I just want to share, first off, what a great training. You have so much talent that's pouring through this Zoom right now. I'm so grateful, because we all have different skill sets, and the ability to focus in on the main components, the most important activities, and everything that you've heard tonight has taken the efforts of those who have Casey, Brett, and Tracy, who have honed in on. They can't be more accurate on what it takes to start growing your business. And I started in this industry before Facebook, so I can tell you it's different. It's totally different today. And just what Tracy shared with you, I've been saying it for months. More people sit there and scroll and scroll and scroll, and they're voyeurs. Okay, they're just watching what's happening in other people's backyards, and they think, oh well, I've been online, I've done my business today. And if you could, what this system will help you do is see what you've been thinking about and what you've been distracting yourself with, and what you're actually doing. It's incredible. So I'm going to tell you a couple stories. So I had lunch today with someone who I just adore, and when I met this woman, it was back in my last company. She was a 3-star in that company. And she was pretty quiet until I first met her on an awards trip. And when I got to know her and I heard her story, I'm not going to mention her name right now just because I just want to leave that where it is for her privacy. But when I got to know her story, I was in awe, like literally jaw-dropping awe. And what I mean by that is she told me the story of back in, I don't know if it was the 80s or the very early 90s, her and her husband got into a ton of debt when their building company declined and basically crashed, and the market crashed. And they were introduced to Amway, okay? And they had no choice but to build themselves out of this pit of debt because their traditional business collapsed because of the economy and timing and being wrong place at the right time. And she told me how they had such a belief, but they were nobody, and they were in such a hole. They would go to events, and she said we would eat dinner before we'd leave because we had no money to buy drinks or buy dinner for anybody. And she goes, I had one dress that I kept. That was my blue dress. I put certain jewelry on, certain shoes. When I went out, that was my power hour dress. That was when I knew that I was projecting the very best of who I wanted to represent, even though we were struggling, we were in massive debt, and we were climbing our way out. So we had lunch today, and more than once, I can't tell you how we both looked at each other, and she said, this is what I want you to take away from tonight's Zoom. She said, thank God, thank God Almighty that when we were in our prime, in our time, we put the time and the energy in to build us a nest egg in a business that would take care of us in times of challenge, in times of struggle, in times of life just rearing its head. And so when I hear everything that you're listening to tonight, first off, I want to say, God, it's so true. It's just, you're hearing pure gold. You could put plugs in your ears, not listen to another call, and listen to this call every single week for the rest of your career in Modere, and you've got it. It's all on this call. And the second thing I'll say is this: you've been blessed with some seeds of desire right now in your life, and it's found you to Modere. And listening to Amy, you inspired me so much because, well, that's a whole other training. You were amazing, and you represent the things that I'm passionate about. And everything you shared, I was just like, yes. It just, when you were talking about we're your clan, we're your family, we're your light, that's what we're supposed to be. But each one of you have found yourself to Modere and to this team and this company, and it's your season. And here's what I want you to know. Your season won't last forever. Okay? I want you to really, really hear me. Your season is a gift. It's a gift from, if you're a spiritual person or you're a person of faith, I'm just going to say it. It's a gift from God that has placed you in the right place at the right time with the right products and the right company and the right people surrounding you to take this journey with you. There will be times in your life where you won't have the energy, or you're going to be inundated with family issues or personal issues or, God forbid, health issues. Something will prohibit you from putting the energy in that you can put in today. And when I sat across the table from Donna, and 3 times, if it wasn't 5 times, she said, thank God, just thank the Lord Almighty. We put in our time and we have a business that takes care of us. And I want you guys to know that, because what you're doing, it is, yes, you're making some great part-time right now money, but what Casey and Brett shared with you tonight is the recipe to build a legacy business, okay? You need to realize that if you have the inclination, the desire, you listen to Amy, there are a million Amy's out there praying for something like this to come across their path, through a Stacy, okay? Through a Kristen, through a Casey, through a Therese. They're praying. And if you just scroll on Facebook and you don't realize that there's a whole facade where you feel like you're doing it, but honestly, you're not doing anything but watching. You're being a spectator. You've got to get in the trenches, and you've got to become someone who cares passionately about people and what they know and what this could be for them. And then it becomes simply a law of numbers, right? You're gonna. What did you say? I posted it on Facebook, Amy. Your vibe attracts one hell of a tribe, and that's truly one of the best things I've heard. I put it out there. I thought, wow, that's like such a piece of wisdom. So I just want to share with you. I want you to be us one day. I want you to be Donna. I want you to be me. I want you to understand how you can look back and go, yeah, I sacrificed. Yeah, I was disciplined. Yes, I put my time in. Yes, I survived the disappointments. Yes, I took a few punches. Yes, not everybody invited me to the birthday party. Yes, I went out there and I prospected. Yes, I followed a system. Okay, here's what I want to tell you last. First off, I want to congratulate the two ladies. I believe it's Brett and Casey who put this system together, the Power Hour. If I'm missing anybody, I apologize. Certainly don't mean to leave anybody out. It's brilliant. So I'm staying with Donna. I just told you her name. And she told me a story. This is real quick, but this is so powerful. You guys have to understand this is so powerful. And she would probably hate me to tell you this, but you have to know. During her time at Amway, I told you about her humble beginning. And she's a deeply Christian, spiritual woman. But she told me that's what she had to do to get her head in the right place to go out there and to evangelize Amway and the business model and the potential and what it meant for people. During the course of their 10 to 20 year career at Amway, and this couple filled coliseums with just their team. Okay, just their team, they filled coliseums for events. She said, well, she has not told me this. I've just heard from other sources. They probably earned anywhere between $16 and $20 million. Okay. But here's the thing that just jumped out at me today, which I want to just say, Brett and Casey, I just want to high five you, hug you, kiss you, lick you like a puppy dog. She said, I went to a baby shower recently. Now, mind you, she had an international team, which we're global. Okay. You saw the stats on how Modera has grown globally this last year. And she said, recently I was invited to a family baby shower for a couple that used to be on our Amway team. It'd been 30 years since she had seen them. And she still remembers the time her and her husband went to Spain to speak to their team, and they filled a coliseum, okay, for them. They had the bullfighters come in at the coliseum when they were speaking. It was just, she'll never forget the moment. It was transfigured in her mind forever. That power of what they were representing to the people who filled a coliseum to hear the hope and the potential and the leadership of what this couple offered. And she said, now it was this couple's turn. 30 years later, their babies are having babies, and she was invited to a baby shower. So she went, and he sat down with her, and she couldn't believe it. It was just surreal. But he said, and listen closely, he said, we still have the tape of the week. Okay, no, and I guess back in Amway, we're really big on tapes. I never did Amway, so I don't know. But they really were one of the best companies in the world for the training modules they had and how they got that rhythm and that system into their organizations. They were the best in the business. That's why they're number one today. And she said, I said, really? And he said, and guess who was the speaker on the tape of the week? And she said, who? You and your husband. And this is 30 years ago, you guys. She stepped back and she goes, what did we say? What did we say 30 years ago? And he said, like, he couldn't believe she'd asked the question. Basically, it was like, the Power Hour, of course. Okay. And she said, at that moment, it hit me. Systems, first off, they enable the human nature in us to overcome our obstacles and our own weaknesses and our own excuses. Only a system does that. It also stands the test of time. So that wasn't what he said. I'm just using Casey and Brett's Power Hour to share with you. 30 years later, she's living with this beautiful residual income that her and her husband built years ago in her prime, when she put her time in because she had the energy and the passion, and she just knew this was in her lap, and it was in her lap to go do something with it and to share and to give away and to evangelize this. Today, she's still living off that nest egg, and someone from 30 years ago is still building his legacy business on the concept of the Power Hour that she trained on 30 freaking years ago. I just had to share that with you because, you guys, that's why it's so important. Modera is a very young company, and we have so much, but what you've seen tonight and what you've heard, and it's not like we're just focusing on these two ladies. The proof's in the pudding. I mean, Therese, and oh my gosh, here I go, and I mess up names. All the gals who are sponsoring like crazy, they're sponsoring because they've whittled it down. They focused it like Clydesdale horses and blinders and Olympic athletes on the Power Hour. And they understand it's accountability, but these are the main things. It's not just watching the world go by. It's not just playing on Facebook. It's using Facebook. It's being accountable. Have you done this? Have you done that? And I think this is the first group in my entire organization that has cracked this nut. And I believe that if you all embrace it and are disciplined and you just hold yourself accountable, like Tracy just shared with you she did, you very well could have that experience of 20 years from now, someone saying, I heard the Zoom. What Zoom are you talking about? Well, it was a replay, the good old replay from 2018, but it was Tracy and Casey and Brett. Well, what did they train on? Think 20 years ahead, okay? Think 2038. Well, what did we train on? What do you mean what did you train on? You trained on the Power Hour. Like, that's it, Okay, that's how you build legacy. And I think with this beautiful, bountiful Thanksgiving buffet, crazy table of Modere with so many options, they just gave it to you in a nest egg. Really, really, truly. So I'm so grateful. I'm so happy. And I will tell you, as I close out here, you need to take this time. If you are, first off, you all could be doing something else right now. You all could be doing something else. You're on the Zoom. That means you have the desire. Something inside of you is saying, this is important. This speaks to me. This is my time. And I'm just telling you, you need to grab the time and you need to make it yours, because life will change on you. You've just heard Amy and her story. I'm someone who has a little different story, but I now live in a beautiful family where there are more needs than I thought 10 years ago, and where I would believe I had more time at this point in my life. I'm doing more specialized care than I ever thought possible. And thank God I did this the last 13 years, and I honed it and I specialized it and I drove it and I sacrificed for it, because every month I get to live like Donna. I get to live like someone who has this beautiful legacy that it takes care of me when I need it. So with that, I want to just say incentives. So it is February, and March is next month. So forget March right now, just February. We're planning some great fun things for Vancouver 2018. I'm really excited to be back at this event in Vancouver with the company. And we have a couple initiatives for both sides of the builder plan for promoters. If you advance to or re-qualify or advance for the first time to platinum or higher as a promoter this month or next month, okay, you have to be at least promoter or higher this month or next month, you'll be invited to my perfectly platinum party in my suite. And it's just going to be wine and cheese and a celebration, and we'll have tchotchkes and just lots of picture moments, but it's fun. It's going to be it's about you guys. And I did ask for the biggest suite. I hope they gave me a decent sized suite, so we're not sitting on each other's laps, so you're not on my bed with your champagne. That's going to be a really fun event. And then this is when you get to meet people just like you, okay? Because I know, and I'm just going to say it right now, to hit platinum, you've got moxie. It's not easy hitting platinum, and it's not easy hitting it again and again and again. So you'll be at that suite with only people who have hit it and again and again and again and gone platinum 1 and platinum 2 and platinum 3. So it's kind of like you want to be there, right? Because you're going to learn, you're going to connect with some of these people on a level that's like going to fill your cup and just inspire you and just make you better. So that's the perfectly platinum party. And the second party is a little bit more, because, it's one thing to drive platinum every month and higher, but building a team is a different skill set. And so for Director 1 and above, through Elites, we're going to have a champagne, what did I call it? It's a champagne gifting suite. And so you'll be invited another night, probably, to my suite, and we'll have a champagne, some kind of hors d'oeuvre champagne. Maybe it's just cheese and crackers and salami champagne, but I have gifts. And there are things I've been collecting, and I don't know how we're going to do it, but you'll all have something that you received there as a gift. Probably have, a couple of top leaders pop in and share words of wisdom from them. But again, you have to hit Director in a 1, or you have to re-qualify and hit your rank, Director 1, Director 2, Director 3, Elite 1, Elite 2, or Elite 3 this month or next month. Okay, I could have done it and I didn't. I understand life, but this month or next month to be invited to the gifting suite. And lastly, I have put on the table the Louboutin red shoes, because it's just too much fun not to put that on there. So if you promote to elite level social marketer, whoops, I almost slipped there, by the end of, I guess, March, or by the time conference comes around, I get to treat you to a pair of Louboutins, and it's probably going to be such a popular incentive. Even if we have one person earn it this next time, this immediate session, I'll probably keep it for the fall as well, because it's really fun. I enjoy getting to treat women who deserve it. You just deserve it. And the company did it when I came in, and believe me, I wanted those Louboutins. So it definitely lit a fire into me. So I want to keep that going. So that's all I have right now, except for, oh God, you just don't know what's ahead. You don't know what's ahead. And when you've tasted it, like my friend Donna and I having lunch today, I mean, she's as Margie as it gets, from a different company, a different era, a different genealogy, but you can line us all up in a row. I'll tell you the same thing. Once you've experienced residual income, and once you've experienced that taking care of you, like your fruits of your labor 10 years ago, paying your mortgage, paying your groceries, paying your health care, paying your fun travel money, paying your children's education, whatever it is. Once you've experienced it, the work you did 10 years ago is paying for your lifestyle 10 years later, you will go through a brick wall. You'll go through a brick wall. My son is here. I'm here in Florida with my 2 boys. My one son is 18. He has a Modere business. He's had this much time to focus on it because he's 18 and trying to finish high school, and he plays baseball and getting into college and so forth. But there's no way my kids won't each participate in Modere as they come of age. They've seen what this business has done for our family, for them. And once that gets in here, there's no stopping you. There's no stopping you. There's no choice. So I love you guys. Thank you for giving me this few minutes to share. This is your time. All right. You don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. So seize the moment. Power hour. Love you gals. Love you, Tracy. Love you, Casey. Love you, Kristen. Love you, Brett. All you gals. And guys, if you're on.
We love you too, Anna. Thanks for bringing it all together like that. It was beautiful. Thank you. And I would say if anybody has questions moving forward for Casey and Brett, we're going to post this, obviously the recording on the Everyday Clean Living page, probably tomorrow. Post your questions on there and let them answer so everybody can see the answers, right? We can go into more depth on that there as well. And moving forward to future calls. All right, you guys, thanks so much again. And we'll see you all next Tuesday. Thanks, everybody, for participating.